Hi there. Welcome to the White Squirrel Public Library Story Time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Miss Laura, and the folks here today, these guys, they wanted to pick out a book collectively, and they picked out, here it is. Thanks, guys. They picked out The Younger Brother's Survival Guide. Now, I have two older sisters. They're not quite like the older sister in this book. Matt wrote the book, and he's going to give us some tips on how to survive an older sister. Mine, mine weren't like the one in this book, but I did have two older sisters, so I can relate to some of the things in here. Maybe you can too. Lisa Kopecki is actually our author, but Matt is going to give us some tips on how to survive an older sister. You might have an older sister or younger sister. They can be challenging sometimes. This is Matt. This is Matt here. It's not easy having an older sister. That's why I wrote the Younger Brother's Survival Guide. Make sure you don't show it to your sister. Now, my sister likes to make her favorite treat for us. It's called a mystery shake. Mine always tastes kind of funny. I think that's Tabasco or hot sauce and some peppers, so that might explain why his always tastes funny. But that brings Matt to the first point. He says, switch the glasses when your sister is not looking, which would explain why the sister is drinking down that mystery shake and it doesn't taste all that good. Pretty clever idea. Now, my sister and I eat tons of candy. She gets me to experiment with mine all the time. Tip number 2, don't listen to your sister when she tells you to put your candy up your nose. And tip number 3, don't try to get the candy out of your nose with bubble gum, even if your sister says it works. Look at that. Matt's got a big old bubble coming out of his nose. Now, my parents say my sister and I, we run around the house like wild animals. Here she is. She's throwing a baseball. Look, we've knocked over a plant. This is me, Matt. I've got on underwear and a cape. The cat's getting into it. Everybody's getting into it. Even this roll of toilet paper is getting into it. But tip number 4, never run around the house in your underwear just in case you get locked out of the house by your sister. Here's Matt standing on the porch, underwear, cape, hat. There's the sister. And look, I think the cat is even in on it. That's a good survival guide tip, just in case. Now, my sister likes to dress me up and take pictures. And then she puts them on the wall and shows them to all her friends. Look, they're just laughing, but here's a picture of Matt dressed up like a little lady. Here's Matt going to work. Here's Matt as an old farmer. Just all kinds of pictures. And she's put them up there and they're all laughing. That's not very nice. Tip number 5, Matt says, you know, some things you're just going to have to put up with because we're going to get your time when you might just be able to take some pictures of your sister when she doesn't know it, and when you've drawn a mustache on her. So Matt says, don't worry about some of that stuff. Today, my sister went to summer camp for a week, a whole week. Now, while she's away, I want to show her just how much I love her. So here I am waving goodbye to my sister. Oh, the little cat has a little handkerchief. I think the cat's sad. I'm waving goodbye. And then I got the opportunity to go in and show my sister just how much I love her by redecorating her house. Be sure and show off your creative side to your sister. And when you have a chance, just redecorate her room when she's not there. How thoughtful of Matt to put her underwear up on the wall. Tip number 8, right away, as fast as you can, as soon as your sister gets back from camp and she sees what you've done, right away, fast. It's not always easy having an older sister, that's for sure. But one thing is also for sure, it's always going to be an adventure. And it is an adventure, and it's a treasure. I don't know what I would do without my sisters. Then and now, older or younger, brothers and sisters are just a treasure, aren't they? Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It's time to say goodbye to our friends in Washi Washi. It's time to say goodbye to our friends in Washi Washi. Story time is done today, so come again another day. It's time to say goodbye to our friends in Washi Washi. You be safe out there. Take care. We'll see you next week, and thank you so much. Take care.